it's Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I am up today with another 12x12 layout. And again, I am using a Cocoa Vanilla Studio collection. So this is the Boys Rule collection, I'm pretty sure. I think. Now I can't remember which collection I used. No, I'm sure it's Boys Rule. And it is for a challenge that was in the Cocoa Vanilla Studio International Scrapbooking Weekend event that they ran. They had 6 challenges, and this was one of them. And it was use a sketch. And so I am following the sketch pretty closely. And I decided I was inspired by Melissa, the awesome Melissa Vining. She did a live in the group, and she used a kind of darker background, darker colours to create her layout using the sketch, which is predominantly based on hearts. Now she did a picture of herself, and so kind of talked about how she used Legendary, I think, and you could use a more masculine collection. Definitely a collection more targeted at boys for a layout about girls. Now I'm using a collection targeted at boys for a layout about boys, but I am still using it, I guess, with a heart focus. And yeah, I just wanted to use this collection with these photos of my son, and I thought the sketch was cute, so I put them both together. So these photos are actually of my son and a little mini piano that we got him for his first birthday. So it is a real piano in that the keys are all kind of accurate. But actually it makes I think it's a bell. It doesn't use strings or anything, it uses a bell. So they are a little bit different. But holy cow, it's like the cutest thing you've ever seen. It is literally a mini upright piano. It's so cute. And he loves it. So obviously, if you follow our channel, you'll know that both my partner and I are musical, but specifically my partner, that's what he does for a living. He's a music teacher. And so, you know, we're wanting to introduce music to Link from a young age, and I just saw this piano and I said it to my partner almost as a joke, saying, oh, we should get this for our son's first birthday, thinking he would say, oh, don't be silly, it's a lot of money for, you know, a gimmicky kind of toy. And then he replied back straight away going, yes, we should definitely get that. So we did. And there's no regrets. It's super cute. And actually Jack, my 4-year-old nephew, whenever he comes over to our house, he sits down and plays with it too. And he makes up little songs and he sings along, and oh, it's just so cute. And so, yeah, it was definitely a good purchase, and Link loves it. So back to what I'm doing. I'm layering up my photos. Now, the reason I was doing this was to give my page time to dry. So I used white paint, if you notice. I didn't even really tell you what I was doing. I used white paint on the background. I'm using black cardstock, and I put white paint on there just to help, I guess, make the page less stark. And I used a baby wipe. Now, I've been doing that a lot lately, applying acrylic paint with a baby wipe. There's pros and cons to it, but I like it because it gives it a nice thin layer, and so it's not super opaque or anything, but that was the look that I was going for. I could have used gesso, would have got a similar finish, but I wanted to use the white paint because it was on my desk already. And so I put a few splodges on, as you could see. I spread it out. I needed a bit more paint, added a bit more where I needed it, spread it out. Now, the baby wipe obviously is quite wet, so it does add a little bit more moisture to the page than perhaps I would like. So make sure you use a good quality cardstock. I didn't prep my page or anything with gesso beforehand. I could have, but I didn't. I don't have clear gesso, I only have white gesso. So if I was going to prep my page with gesso, then I wouldn't have added white paint as well. I would have just left it. And because I wasn't adding any more mixed media, I didn't think there was a lot of value in the gesso. So you'll see when I bring my page out, it is a little bit warped. And again, partly it was because I didn't let it dry properly. And I could have also put it under some heavy 12x12 paper pads or something once it had dried completely, just to help flatten it back out, which definitely works. But I didn't have time because I was making this layout all in one sitting. So you can see me here layering up my photos with different paper options. And then I decided to finish both of the photos layering with a whole piece, and I used the same piece of cardstock, so this wood grain that you can see here. So I finish off, as I said, kind of using this wood grain piece to completely enclose all of my layers. So it ended up being quite neat, even though there's a lot of different layers going on and different colours poking through. I still kept it quite contained, if that makes sense. So I am just trimming that down, and then I will bring my page back out and start putting it all together. So getting rid of all my bits of cardstock there. Whew, that's a lot of paper scraps for me to go through and use, but that's okay. I'm happy to rise to that challenge. So here's my page, and you can see I'm just sort of trying to flatten it out a little bit. And then I did actually, now that I've just said that, I did get my heat tool and dry it off slightly. That was me sort of saying to the camera, just wait, I'll be right back. But obviously I edited that part out. Now I just cut out these love hearts, just freehand. The lime green here is actually tissue paper, and I thought that might add a nice little bit of different texture to the page. And the lime green matches the collection really well, and so I've added that. And then these other two love hearts, again, as I said, I just cut them out freehand, just sticking those down. I do add a bit of extra tape than what I would normally, just because I wasn't sure how it would stick to the white acrylic paint, but it was totally fine. Probably didn't need the extra tape, but I added it anyway. And then the final love heart. Now, as I said, I'm following this sketch really closely. So the sketch that I'm following, which was created by Anita, I think, at Cocoa Vanilla Studio, she had the 3 love hearts basically in this configuration. She only had 1 photo in her sketch. I'm obviously using 2. And then she did have the title kind of curving around the larger love heart, but as you'll see, I don't do that. I just couldn't quite make that concept work. So I'm just adding a tiny little bit more tape to the edge of my page there to stick down at the edge of the love heart that I had cut in tissue paper. Obviously it's very thin and it was a bit, it is flimsy, but I just needed it to be a bit more securely anchored there. So you can see the tape, but not enough that it's a problem for me. And so I'm trimming off the excess now. Normally I would do this at the end, but I liked to kind of see what I was working with. So I've trimmed it off. And now I'm going to work at putting everything together. So I'm just going to stick my photos down so I can work out where the rest of my embellishment clusters are going. And then I will build from there, if that makes sense. So this photo is sticking down flat, and then I'm pretty sure I popped this one up on foam. Yep, here I go. Again, using my fun foam, the lovely Linda, who I met through Confessions of a Paper Addict Facebook group, and she often comments on my videos. She told me to go and get this foam from the reject shop in Australia. I can't remember what it's called. It's upstairs. But it's basically in the kids craft section, and one side is adhesive. So it's like the fun foam that they get in America. One side is adhesive, the other isn't, and it's pretty cheap. And you get a quite a thick pack there, A4 size, I believe. And I think you get 2, 4, I reckon you get about 8. You might even get 10 sheets. It's a lot anyway, and so I am using that and seeing how it goes, and so far I like it. I don't love that I have to use wet glue to stick it down, but that's okay. I still like the product, and it works really well to pop things up with, so I'm happy about that. So I'm just creating some clusters. Now I'm using these film strips. I don't really know why. I mean, it's not about film, it's about music, but you know, those two things kind of relate. So I'm creating 3 little clusters, and I'm just faffing around a little bit with this last one that has the like monster head guy. Yeti, maybe he's an imitation Yeti, I think. I've got a few wood veneer pieces that I pulled out. One is a treble clef, and then I had 3 notes that I pulled out. And so I'm pretty sure that's where I'm keeping everything. And so I do edit out the sticking it down, because I figured you've already seen me place them here. And so you don't need to watch me stick them down. So now I am just looking, before I stick down my embellishments, which I haven't done yet, I'm going through my thickers, which to be honest, normally I do before I plan a layout. Before I film a layout, but I hadn't actually done it. And as I was filming this, I thought, oh, I don't have a title. So I'm going through my thicker stash and pulling out some things that I thought would work. I decided to avoid gold because I just didn't think that was going to go with kind of the look that I was going for. So I pull out these smaller thickers, and in the end, I end up choosing these ones, which I don't know what they are, but they're the set of thickers that have black, and then they have like a iridescent sparkly black as well. So they have kind of 2 sets of thickers in one. Does that make sense? Were they an Amy Tan creation, maybe? Pink Paisley? Nope, don't know. Paige Evans? I don't know. Not sure, but they are what I've pulled, and I go with the black because I think that fits my theme. and I'm spelling out our little music man, I'm pretty sure. And so I didn't edit this part out, but I do edit me sticking down my thickers because you've already seen my title. So I'm spelling out our little music man, and then I'm still umming and ahhing over where to place my title. As I said, the sketch sort of had it wrapping around the right-hand side of the green love heart. Now, obviously, I've used 2 photos, so a lot of that green love heart is covered, and I don't know, that line just wasn't going to work for me. So you can see me here. I put my title on this baking paper so that I can move it around a little bit just to play around with where I might like it to go. I do decide I want it up above my photos, so I end up moving that cluster that I had there and bringing it back down to the right-hand side. And then think to myself, yes, I'm going to settle with my title up the top there. So this is the part I'm going to edit out. But you can see that I've stuck my title down, our little music man, and then I've edited out me sticking down the rest of my embellishments because, again, they have stayed in the same place, so I didn't move anything else. And I'm going to trim off the edges of my photos. Sorry, the edges of the film strips that are hanging over the edge of the page. But first off, I am just finishing off with these few little enamel dots. They're kind of like a lime green, sparkly enamel dot. And then I think I add some splatters. I'm pretty sure I add splatters. I always add splatters, so I don't know why I wouldn't. And I think I add silver, and I might even add the navy, I think. Yeah, here we go. This is the silver. So first of all, I'm covering my photos. Good on me. So I don't get any splatters on Lincoln's face, which always happens to me if I don't cover my photos. So I'm adding some silver. Now, I really like this silver. It's a new one for me. It's an acrylic paint-based mist. And yeah, I like it. It has an acrylic paint smell. That's the only thing I will say. But it works well. And I haven't had a silver before, so it's nice to have a silver. And then I'm just adding my firm favourite, my Heidi Swap Colour Shine in navy. And then I'm pretty sure we're going to finish up. And I'm going to show you the close-ups and we're going to be all done. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've loved playing along with all the challenges in the International Scrapbooking Weekend. Heaps of groups had them and they were so much fun to play along with. So I hope you guys have had a wonderful day. Thank you for watching to the end. I hope you like the close-ups and I look forward to seeing you in our next video. Okay guys, bye.